This is Jeremy's Swing with the Rice Trader, summarizing the December 9th TRT report. As always, a great pleasure to be here to summarize what we see in the world market, kind of what's going on in our report this week, and just come back, especially after a 2 week hiatus since we were on U.S. Thanksgiving and just doing some traveling with part of our team to come back and talk about the market. On that point, I think the talk is that the market's slow, as one would expect as you move into December, especially after December 15th. I think we have two more reports left, and I think they'll increasingly get more holiday feel as we move forward, just because I'm not so sure there's going to be a lot of action in this market. They could surprise us, and I have to put a market flash out during Christmas week. Who knows? But for sure, the market is slow. Though when it's slow, there's always trades being done. There's trades in Africa being done. There's trades in the Philippines being done from Pakistan. And that's probably the more interesting thing is how much Pakistan rice has been booked into the Philippines. The Philippines has bought some Myanmarese rice. They've really bought the gambit. The government has opened it up before the new crop comes. Viet has definitely slowed down in trade, being so far out of the market, which is a point we'll talk about in a second, just how big the price spreads are, and it's just shifting market flows as one would expect, and drawing down some prices and pushing up some prices as well as the demand shifts. So, but yeah, the Philippine shift is a little interesting. Some of it for sure happened at our World Rice Conference. There was a lot of deals done by the Pakistan trade for sure, and other parties. And Via Trade for made some deals as well, from what we were told. Um, Definitely a lot of action occurred when we were in Manila just a few weeks ago. So outside of that, I would just kind of go back to some older points. You're looking at India having such a huge crop. They are being aggressive. You're seeing exports increase. Talk of G2G sales to Indonesia, talking about some other G2G sales that we hear are coming quickly. And again, they have 30 million metric tons to ship at the least. 30 million this year, 30 million next year, with even some reduction in crop. People haven't fully processed how much they need to sell, and they haven't really got fully going quite yet, and it's coming, but they're not fully at their full run of where they're going to be at when they really just light it up and hit every market in the world at cheap prices. Um, and they've seen some competition from Pakistan. Surprisingly, Pakistan has decided, look, we're going to be at whatever India price is or close to. We call to get into the prices to in relation to this. We call India at 445 this week. Probably could buy it at 435. Pakistan quoted at 450. Probably could buy it at 440. Which is again a vast difference from Thai and Viet at 5% being at 510. I mean, that is a massive difference of $60 per ton. Um, and it is shifting flows. People are telling Vietnam no, other than of course the DT8 normal sales, and just saying that is unacceptable. For us, it's unacceptable in the market, and we just aren't going to accept that is going to be the price spread we're going to willing to pay. Again, quality players will always buy anything. They know the quality players are quality players. So, that's what I see happening um, uh, in our view of the market, to say the least. Um, we see the overall view more than anything. So, and that's what one has to do when they're looking at markets. You can't get to so focused on one piece, you're not seeing the whole gambit of what really is happening. One has to be very careful in analyzing a market to see all the different aspects coming in as the market comes together. So, yeah, the Indian trade will be aggressive, and yes, Pakistan will be a player. But more interesting, what happens? How does Thailand? Thailand, we hear, is just being accepting that they're going to sell less. In fact, they're up $10 a ton from 500 to 510, and Viet was down $10 to 510. Um, there's a three-tier market really. You have South American at 700 and probably going lower as their crop comes off in February. The U.S. around $800 a ton, and then four tier. Now I say it. And then you have Thailand, Vietnam at on 510, and then in Pakistan, India at 450, 445. And so it's a vastly fascinating market. And this is what the grains have fallen dramatically in the last couple of years, and rice just kind of stayed high. And again, we say this in the rice trader. You can look at Bulog's actions as one of the key factors, the manipulation of Bulog tenders, the games that were played, of why Bulog, who now is saying they're going to buy no rice in 2025 on good crops and good stocks. Why would they tender the way they do and keep prices high? Hey, great for our exporters. Hey, hats off to our exporters who needed that, wanted that. But for the rest of the market, it's also had the ancillary effect pushing up global production. We have stock to use ratios that have 34.4%. It's the first time since 2020, I believe 2020, that the stocks have increased. We had been a slight, very, very high, ridiculously high rice stocks, but at least they were declining. Now they've jumped back up again. So we've gotten world production jumping and just not having the demand that you'd want at higher prices compared to the grains, and getting the production when it's a choice, because you can still make money in rice as the other pieces fell, is harder to make money for sure. So, this whole manipulation, if you will, fact on our market, as India banned exports for a time, then come back in this year, and Bulag made just the wildest. I mean, I don't know who was running it. I say it over and over. Somebody should be looked at very closely for who was controlling what was going on there and why tenders occurred and why they were broken up. Because I guarantee you, I could have gotten much cheaper prices, much more efficient action. One can look to Burnas's buying activity, which is often very quiet and very successful in my view. They very much know the market. And so, hey, different thoughts from different people, but surely a wild market in that way. That being said, the market is slowing. Everybody always jokes the Philippines starts playing Christmas music September 1st, and they do. And if you want to have a meeting in the Philippines um, after the last week of November and December, it better be a Christmas meeting or a party. And it's a joke, but there is some truth in that. So the market is for sure slowing down. A lot of the focus, I would say, I wrote a nice paragraph onto it, would be the U.S. elections. The fallout of the U.S. elections, Trump is being extremely aggressive, being open. He's going to put a 25% tariff on all goods, talking about putting a tariff on everything that comes in the U.S., everything, and getting rid of the income tax. And that's how he would do it. He would put a national sales tax on all goods, anything that's sold instantly in the current system, which is very set up in the U.S. to pay a sales tax, and an excise tax. Anything come in, that would be taxed, and he would get rid of income tax. And this would be a very popular move. The U.S. people hate income tax. It's, a very big pain. You make money, but then you can't keep it. Well, sales tax, well, everybody has to spend money. You're going to have to buy chairs, you're going to have to buy computers, you're going to buy houses. Whether you're a foreigner or a local, you spend money while you're here. You have to. You're going to buy tickets. You're going to buy, buy entertainment. It would be all carry for all players, not just Americans as well. So it's going to be very fascinating. There is no farm bill. People think it's going to be extended. Who knows? Is there going to be issues with Mexico and Canada? Very likely. Both are now kind of bending the knee, if you will, to the Trump administration, because he is going to put hard tariffs on them as well. And now they're coming more back in line. Again, there's a lot of fear of Trump. He will make aggressive trade deals. His people are going to be aggressive. They're not kumbaya people. They're very firm, direct, and get it done. They say what they're going to do and do what they're going to say, and so it's going to be a much different world. I would say oil prices will drop. You can kiss carbon credits as far as the U.S. Maybe the Europeans will continue their carbon walk, but as the U.S. just says no, it's going to be difficult for them as well. So it's going to be a non-environmental trade policy, let's build business type of time, and that will affect the global stance and global direction for sure. I go through all the elections that have happened, either Modi in India not having a mandate anymore, or now Trump has a mandate. You can look at the current instability in Korea. You can look at Thailand forming a new government just a few months ago, and it really hasn't stretched its wings fully where it's going to come out and probably be aggressive in 2025. Thaskin has, of course, returned. And so these are just one of the many, many things going on. So with that, this is just Jeremy Zwinger signing off. I just look forward to speaking to you next week when I'm able to. And it's always great to watch the world rice market. I look forward to talking to you next week.